All right, as always, Cisco keeps reimagining ways. Like capture the flag that we can build community, that we can build teams, that we can create these personal stories that last, that drive new innovation, new capabilities for your company, for your people, for your markets. Once again, I'm going to mention social media because we want to hear from all of you throughout the show, your comments, your photos, your screenshots, videos, whatever you're loving here at the show. Hashtag Cisco Live EMEA or at Cisco Live EMEA. Keep reaching out. Our social media team, Kathleen Mudge and her people, they're here to respond to every one of your posts and make sure that you are a full participant here in this terrific event. All right, right now, we're going to turn our attention to unified industrial threat defense, all the different ways that Cisco is securing your industrial operations through integrated networking solutions, and specifically tailoring that to address cyber threats today across IT and across OT environments. We've got Samuel Pasquier here in the studio with us. He is VP of IoT Product Management with us here at Cisco, and he's got a very, very special guest with him for 5 questions in 5 minutes. Samuel, I'm going to send it back over to you.
Thank you, Steve, and I'm very happy to be here today. And with me is Fabio Oleari. And Fabio, thank you for joining. And Fabio, you are OT Cybersecurity Manager at Electric 80. So, Fabio, tell us a little bit more about E80, what you do exactly.
Thank you, Samuel. And E80 is basically a robotic and automation company. We design and shape the logistics of our customers that work in the food and beverage and tissue market sectors mainly. And as OT manager, I drive a group that take care of all the topics that are now, on the eye of everyone, and are so important to ensure the security of our products.
No, that's great. So you are one of those OT person having to deal with industrial network and security. So tell us a little bit more for the audience here. We have a lot of people today at Cisco Live. What are the challenges that you see in those industrial network, and what are you doing to solve them, to keep running, right?
Yeah, we basically deliver to our customer dozens of automated machines, hundreds of network endpoints for each installation. And as you can imagine, the security of all this stuff that you can guarantee the business operation of our plants H24 is so critical. And so we started several years ago to address the observability and the authentication of the device on this network, because we basically do not control the network at our customer side. So we deliver the machine, we do not have the control of the network. And so we would like, with Cisco Cyber Vision and Cisco Eyes, to understand what's happening behind the scenes, to monitor everything during time.
No, that's great. So, once again, today at Cisco Live, we hear a lot, even in the keynote, around AI and how AI is changing the life of everyone, especially as well in industrial environments. So for you, for E80, what are the things around AI? How do you leverage the technology, and what does it mean for your industrial network, for your security, for the solution that you have?
That's a very interesting question, because we started developing AI application, especially in the computer vision, couple of years ago, because we are in the transition between automated robots to autonomous robots. It means that our machine must be aware of the environment, and AI will have a huge impact on the network and on the security, because we have robots that survive with few kilobits per second, and in the future they will need connectivity of megabyte per second, and they will need at the end of the day the same latencies, because they are industrial machines. And regarding the information that traverse the network, they will be completely different. Now it's not sensitive information. Tomorrow there will be images, there will be people traversing the network, so the security of that kind of information will be critical.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a huge impact in the industrial environment of AI technology.
AI is a reality for you, and really embracing it, and that has consequences on the infrastructure, and you need to get ready for that.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. So, thinking about getting ready, right? You are on the OT side, but you have to work with the IT side. Tell me a little bit more for you. What does it mean, integration of IT and OT working together? How do you address that? Right?
Yeah, basically when we talk about IT-OT convergence, we are focused on what's happening at the customer side, not on our company. And it's something that we have to deal with it, because the customer would like to have a full control across their network, and we are a huge player on their network that we are responsible for what we deliver. And so we basically are working together with the customer, with our customer, exploiting the products that you are developing, like again Cisco ICE and Cisco Cyber to give our customer the observability while keeping the network of the machine segregated. That is something that must be, like that to ensure the business operation of the machine.
No, that's great. Well, I want to say thank you, Fabio. Thank you for coming. Thank you for recording the video with us. And I have to say, I'm always happy when I see one of your AGV's robots, and knowing that there is some of the Cisco technology inside those robots. Sometimes we forget about it. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the show. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And Fabio, great job as well. I love that you actually ended that conversation by talking about our Cisco technology and robots. I agree. It helps remind us that we are actually a little cooler than we sometimes think that we are. Right now, we're going to go out into the showcase where our own Rob Boyd is hanging out at IoT. We're going to talk a little bit of utility management and IPsec. Rob, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Steve. Thank you so much. Yeah, I am here in the IoT booth. And here's the challenge I have in this area. There is so much to talk about. And from a TV perspective, as you and I will often care about in these things, is there's lots of great visuals to look at, but I also like being able to get specific. I want you to meet Pete Kavanaugh. Pete, you're a principal architect. You're doing security in the IT/OT side here. What is it that you've got for us here? Do you mind laying it out?
Sure. Security is across everything we're doing with our customers, whether it's switching, routing, dedicated security on the wireless side. Security is kind of horizontally everywhere for us. It's because it's so top of mind for our customers. And especially in the industrial space, a lot more of our customers are becoming overnight critical infrastructure. So you're thinking like water utilities, power utilities, transportation. That's now right up there with like a nuclear power station in terms of how we got to secure and have our customers have visibility in terms of what's going on. What we're doing particularly here, Rob, is with Catalyst SD-WAN, right? A lot of our customers have remote locations. It could be, like I said, a water pumping station or a weather station. An example of what we have here is the Catalyst IR1101 rugged router. This is very commonly deployed by our customers. It can go in very small locations, but yet it's a small but powerful box. It's essentially like a full enterprise Catalyst router, and of course that means it can do SD-WAN. Yeah. So the key thing for us, and it's so familiar to our customers and partners, is all of our industrial routing portfolio can do Catalyst SD-WAN, which is great because people already know SD-WAN. They've been doing it on the IT network for a long time, and now to build dedicated or unified IT/OT networks is so simple for them to do.
Which I love, because we have resources and people that are trained in these things that sometimes feel like I'm stepping into a new world when I get over here, but you're like, no, it's the same world. Right, they just didn't do enough of it, and now we're making it available to them. So you're demonstrating some things here too, yes?
Yeah, so I just want to call out a couple of things. This is the new for the 20.16 release. Most of our customers, these are remote locations. Cellular is the way they're going to connect back to their hub locations. And so we've introduced some new cellular monitoring, which really kind of shows both on the 4G side and the 5G side, the signal strength of the cellular network really helps them optimize and understand if they got to maybe re-engineer some of the network. That's kind of super important. Also, the fact that in the 20.15 release, we linked up Catalyst SD-WAN with our Cisco CyberVision OT cybersecurity product. And so now from the Catalyst SD-WAN manager, with a guided workflow, we can deploy the CyberVision sensor inside the router. So what we're seeing here is we're seeing what CyberVision sees from an OT visibility perspective inside the router, and we can even see, for example, this PLC, we can come inside and we can see here all of the details about what's happening, what data flows are happening between which components, and we can even then see, for example, the risk score from CyberVision to highlight any vulnerabilities that we've seen and we can have our customers go out and adapt to.
I love how all this is coming into more of a combined interface. And then there's a reflection, of course, too, that you're very dependent on this maybe primary connection. Obviously, with SD-WAN, it can make choices about if they're even available, but it's going to be important to you regardless. So finish us up here. You had this Raspberry Pi doing something basic, but something I still find interesting for at least my situation.
A lot of customers on the Ethernet ports do not enable any port security. We've made it so easy with our configuration catalogs that now enables port security by default. So with this Raspberry Pi, this is actually showing that this is able to connect to Cisco.com.
Okay.
This port has no port security enabled. If I move the Ethernet cable to the port that has port security enabled, which is IEEE 822.1x, best-in-class port security, this Raspberry Pi will now try and connect to Cisco.com, and any second now you can see that's now failing.
Wow, did you guys see all that? That was green and then it was red, which means that it's successfully not getting
It's
to
blocking that traffic.
place that it wants to go. Pete, thank you so much for taking your
Thanks,
time
Rob.
today.
Appreciate
We've got a lot of good traffic here in the booth.
busy.
Be sure and stop by here. With that, we'll go back to you in the studio. Steve?
All right, thank you so much, Rob. Truly appreciate it. And also to Pete for that fantastic insight into cyber vision, into secure IPsec. Really appreciate that. Very glad to have you back with us here in the Cisco TV studio. And right now, we are going to take a deeper dive into IoT and industrial networking. And this time, I get Samuel back over here in the studio with me. You just had a great conversation a moment ago, Samuel. I'm really glad to have you here with me now. I want to talk about what's happening live here today. So we don't have any major announcements right now here at the show, but something is coming very soon that we need to keep an eye on, yes?
Yeah, well, I think, we need to take a break sometimes.
Yeah.
We cannot be every.
We can't always be out at the cutting edge.
We have to share the stage. So we are sharing a little bit the stage for this Cisco Live, but Cisco Live Orlando, San Diego. San Diego. This summer is going to be very, very, very busy for IoT. So you should block some spot for us. We're going to be busy with you.
We're always telling our audience here who's watching on the live stream that they need to be in the room with us for those major announcements.
Yes.
So you just heard another reason to be here to listen to what Samuel has to say. Let's talk about what is happening this week. You've had a summit that has been taking place here, just took place. Tell us a little bit about that. Who was there and what it was all about?
Today we have an industrial summit focused on manufacturing. So we are actually roughly 70, 80 customers in the room, and people who are more from the operation team. So there is all this trend about IT getting more involved with the operation team to connect the assets that they have on the factory, on the plant floor. And this is a discussion where the customer are talking to the customer, are exchanging. We have some more customers sharing what their best practice, what they have done, sharing their experience. And this is very interesting because we are all here about the 40 years of Cisco this year, but we have been in industrial network for 20 years. Wow. And 20 years in industrial network, things change significantly, and we've learned a lot of things, and there's a lot of things we can share with our customers. So that's been pretty amazing. And I will tell you, it's always nice to see what is top of mind for our customer.
Yeah.
And when you talk to the customer, it's kind of similar to what Fabio was saying. It's all about security. You can imagine the number of assets that are connected to those plant floor and how we secure them, how we make sure we don't stop the factory. That's what is top of mind for our customer, and that's why we have a few things to show them.
And we heard about that actually this morning in the keynote as well. So Anurag was talking about it's all well and good to onboard these new capabilities. Until we have the network speed to be able to support them and also the security to make people feel comfortable in utilizing these capabilities, we really don't have anything, right?
Yeah, and what's happening right now in manufacturing is it's a revolution. We talk about AI. What people sometimes don't realize is AI in manufacturing has been going on for many, many years. Just to give you an idea, every time there is a problem in a factory, the go-to tool for people is to put a camera to take picture and to be analyzing those pictures. So it's all about visual inspection. The number of cameras in a factory over the last 3 years have been multiplied by 40. So you can imagine, what does it mean to the network, the bandwidth that you need, all of that need to improve, and that's where we are investing for Cisco to make sure we have the AI infrastructure ready for the AI use case, even in manufacturing on the plant floor.
It's exciting. It's exciting. While we're here, and again, I want to kind of keep it current with what's going on, what sort of use cases are you seeing, not just around the show floor in terms of your conversations with customers, but when we look at industrial IoT technology, how do we protect locally? Let's make it local first. So we're here, we're in the Netherlands, right? What are some use case stories?
Well, use case story, we have in the Netherlands, there is IoT is all around us. It can be from the street, when you walk in the street, all those red lights that you need to connect an intersection, can be to all the infrastructure for roadways, can be around utilities. And the protection is really having, sometimes you don't even have control of the box, where the box is going to be, where the network is going to be. It's going to be in the outdoor, right, in the field. So you need to protect, there's a physical security, and after you add layers on top of it, and really about who can connect to your infrastructure, who can connect back to your VPN, all those kind of technologies that we have. and the ability to have visibility on what's going on. And that's why we have a tool like CyberVision to be able to help you to know what are the assets connected to your infrastructure, so you can implement policy to segment things, right?
Absolutely. And again, we could take that local story probably, and we could take that exact story you just said, and we could share it not only from the Netherlands, but all the way across Europe, out to the US, to Africa, to APJC as well. Last thing that I want to mention to you, because we got about 45 seconds left here. How do you think the threat landscape has evolved in ways that Cisco has been able to really tackle and take the lead on? We started out with the why Cisco differentiation this morning in the keynote. Follow up on that. Why Cisco for IoT now?
Well, I think, the fundamental things is we have been in IT for 40 years. We have been in industrial network for 20 years. Things are changing, and the technology the security offers that we have on the IT side are actually needed and necessary on the industrial side. And only Cisco has this portfolio of technologies that goes from the IT all the way to the plant floor, and that we have a continuum of technologies that can work all together. I think that's really why, and for our customer, what it means is you can have person who have the same skills that can operate on the entire spectrum, which makes a huge difference for our customer.